And the man loading in on the killer is none other than Gestrix, Ty's #1 player of all time. Recent addition to the team. They will be
I
following
know
up Light
that.
with Unknown on the pick of Wrecker's Yard, and after that we will have a tiebreaker of Ghoul. But Tavi, Gestrix joining the team as well as Frozen from Source. Pretty big pickups for Adolescents. How do you think they're going to impact this team?
Well, Chief, I was kind of wondering the same too, but I know both Frozen and Gastrix, they're both really strong on the Survivor, so yeah, I did not really introduce myself. Chief did introduce me, but yes, hello as well, I'm Tavi, and this is actually a first time casting in a week, so I had a bit of a break. Uni's gonna start too. That's all chilling for everyone. And Gastrix nearly gets the 2 rush there, and that was huge if that connected, because also that would have been a hook in the mid-map, but luckily Noas has the same ping and is going to be playing the 50s and will go down. So yeah, a little bit of delay here. I do expect Adolescents and why am I blanking right now? I'd expect Adolescents to like really make the most of this start here, because I think it's pretty good. It's not really a gen done at the moment, but they've already managed to rotate up the map. We can see on the HUD there, Jake, who is white, is yeah, presumably stealthy for the pull. We also do see 2 teacher here, and this gen's going to get popped. So nice little find by Gestrix, going to rush all the way back. And I think Noah's should have the last here, but wait a minute. I think they get the heal off just in time. That's going to be, again, really huge here. I mean, takes the hit, but it's a little bit of extra time. Noah's takes the pallet stun, which isn't going to give them much more distance. So we do have the dead hard in the back pocket. So it's a bit more of like a passive build coming through. And White's actually taking the hit. So yeah, this is a bit of a risky play here, Chief, because if yeah, Nemesis just goes down here with no dead hard, then look at this hook, man. It is terrible for survivors.
No, you are right. This hook is very problematic. Gestrix is capitalizing on everything he has been given so far. He's gotten his second hook onto Naroz's tunnel out before any gen has popped, and on top of that, a tag onto White for free. Fortunately for Naroz, he did last those 5 rushes with the tag, because he was reset and he would have been down topside yet again even quicker, which could have been very, very problematic for the overall game state so far. But we do see in the background, Quinea is about to pop the first gen of the trial. Gestrix is looking to get active, though. He's found one of our survivors. This might be White, who just have to venture all the way back to the top side. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it is in fact White, and if we can get him down on the ground and slugged with Naroz still on the hook, I'm pretty sure 2 Teacher and Quinn are still stuck on the bottom side, so it could be very problematic. But the heads up play, look at this, one of them's already rotated just in case White was applied any bit of pressure, but since Gestrix has decided to back off and play protect the hook, we're not going to get too active anywhere from any side. We need to be very careful now. A trade could still be a bit detrimental if it's the wrong survivor. 2 Teacher is in for it already. He's going to take the BT hit onto Naroz, and that could be problematic. We know we don't have access to Dead Hard because we are mending, and if we get the quick down now, this could spell very big problems. Quinea isn't going to pop that gen in time. We're going to get this hook, and if we head right there and don't pop that gen, get pop off Tavi, things could be really, really ugly as we enter the 3v1.
Yeah, okay. You know, Chief, I might have lied before, you know what I mean, in the casters chat, but they do pop the gen just in time, it seems. Yeah, with a little bit on my end, which is completely my fault. I still do think this situation is completely fine to get. She finds White on the edge map, that's gonna be the down. And I think that's a really smart play from Gestrix to kind of smell out the dead hard from Naroz. Presumably didn't see any other exhaustion previously, and then made the assumption that with the previous fake on the TL window that dead hard was in place. So then instead of going for the slug onto 2 Teacher, went for the immediate sunlight hit and really paid off there. So it's going to find 2 Teacher here on the TL again, and I think this will be close to death. I mean, there is a pallet here, but my internet's kind of dying, and it seems like Gestrix have left that. So, yeah, I guess the best outcome for our survivors would be 4K2, but maybe Gestrix will give them a little bit of
I do think there's a chance Gestrick could still make a mistake, which allows our survivors to achieve that 4k1 result. I think a 4k1 is the best we're going to be able to play for from this situation. White is going to be taking his second hook of the trial. With both survivors still in the game, though healthy, there is the chance that it's not over yet. We do know Quinn is about to pop his gen. I'm not too sure where it is on the map. I think it might be that gen at 8 that we didn't see pop. Yeah, it is. There you go. It's gone already. But the unfortunate scenario right now is that we have a 3-1 split. So I don't think, actually, it's more of a 4 top. We see that gen is over at the 3 side. Also, we found 2 teacher already, which is definitely not what you need. A quick tag as well does come in, which means we don't need to worry about all too much. We caught Quinn rotating for that unhook, and we're going to be able to get a tag onto him as well. In fact, he's not even gone for the trade. He knew that that tag would be so detrimental, taking the trade even more so. So we've actually just run in after the rushes. Somehow we've gotten away with that for only a tag. We've gotten the White off of the hook, but that is Kunir once again on the ground. So we'll just be putting ourselves right back on the hook. A situation that's just gotten oh so much worse for our survivors, considering we've traded a hook state for 2 tags. I mean, I don't really know if that was worth it, all things considered. I think you might have wanted to play for the 4k1, play very passive, and try to get that gen on the 3-4 side of the map done for the hook timer, but that's not the play we went for. Now that we have 2 injures and a Gestrix on the prowl, I think things could be ending very, very shortly, Tavi.
This is simple. I mean, for us survivors, there's just going to be a really difficult time ahead of them. Like the general generator split on the current map, and like the hook location, just really difficult for them to do much without being seen. Yeah. That being said, though, hold on, I will go to a little bit of a technical intermission because might have heard me cut out quite a lot. So I'll be back in a little bit while I get things sorted out.
That is all good. So, yep, I will be without Tavi for a little bit. He is having a few technical issues. So I will be by myself. You will just have to deal with me casting by myself for a little while. I hope everybody is okay with that in the background there, as well as I was explaining that situation. Quinia has gone second. We did get the reset onto White and 2 teachers, so things have kind of stabilized for our survivors, but for them as well. White is back into chase. Gestrix spotted him out on the gen at 3. This is a tag, and if we do get White out of the trial now, forcing the 2v1 in any way would be hugely detrimental for our survivors and spell the end of the game. But Gestrix has given them a little bit of some ability to come back. You know, we didn't immediately try to go for the death onto White. We've gone back for the unhook onto Quinir. Quinir made main, so we didn't want to chase that either. Instead, we found 2 teacher in the mid-map. This is another fresh survivor, which in a set on an S-tier killer isn't that important. You know, this isn't going to be a pain res or anything of the sorts to stop all of that gen progress that we may have, which I want to point out we don't have much of at all on the side of our survivors. Also, Gestrix is getting a little bit dumbfounded by the movement of Quinir there. He just barely makes that pallet, and somehow Gestrix doesn't end up breaking it either, which is shocking to see. But that does mean all our survivors are once again injured, but none of them are dead yet, which I think Gestrix really has shown them a bit of mercy for that to be the case. I feel like he really could have committed White to the bottom side of the map, probably gotten a quick down with his rushes, and forced a 2v1 early. Instead, we've given him a little bit extra time on this gen at 3. We did see 2 survivors, actually. We saw White rotate back down to the bottom side, and whoever this is, the scratch marks we are following, all the way up to 1. We need to play a chase out for as long as possible, but with the fact that we have no resources on this side of the map left, this will just be a quick down. Gestrix going to make the rushes to shorten the chase as much as possible. That will be 2 teacher on the ground. I'm not too sure if he is our unbreakable survivor, but he will be slugged as we go and check our gens. Also, we see there White back on 3. He was erupted, so we know that he's ventured all the way to the bottom side. So Gestrix isn't too worried about his position right now. It's object of obsession, find Quinir time, and we've done that exactly. He will be right on the ground. That is an unfortunate loss of the 50s there. Gestrix movement just catching him out with his pants down, and now it's time to find White and put an end to our survivors run. We see the blood. We know the gen isn't close to popping. All we've got to do is get down now, and that will be the 4K2 secured for Gestrix and Adolescents. I have to be honest, all things considered, I think this is a very, very good showing for your first display of killer in the entire season and for your new team. Obviously, it's Gestrix, right? Everybody who's been around in OSL, been around in the OCE, SEA community knows who this guy is. He's quite literally the #1 player to come out of the Southeast Asia region. I don't think there's any debate about that. He does it all the time. He's the very best the region has to offer. And, you know, for a team to just come and pick him up mid-season, that is a big boon, especially when you're a team that's fighting your hardest to make it to finals. And you know what? I think him alongside Frozen, the extra addition they did make alongside Gestrix, is exactly what you need. Also, I want to point out very quickly, Gestrix has opted to leave Quidnir on the ground just to go and find Tuchicha, because if he was to bleed out now, it would be a fresh bleed out, meaning it would be a minus 0.5 hook stage deduction from the points overall. That meaning if our killer for KaitOkids was also to achieve a 4K2, it would not result in a tie. It would be a win to them because the bleed out did not have any hook states, but that won't matter. Tuchicha has been located. Gestrix is going to finally get that hook onto him, meaning that does not apply. And that will just be a plain 4K2 secured. I have to point out, I think everything was played very, very well from both sides. Unfortunately, I just think the chases weren't good enough. The very early tunnel out onto Naroz was quite unfortunate. It was your dead hard survivor, and he didn't get to use his exhaustion at all, which obviously shortened that chase time. And the resources he was left to play weren't the strongest either. He was often caught around that 1 to 3 side of the map, didn't really get to make it to Shack or to main to last, which is a little problematic. It definitely is why chases don't last on this map. You need to be making those strong resources, and when you're not, things can end quickly in your chases, and that's exactly what we saw Gestrix do. He capitalized on the fact that Naroz was never in a strong position for his chases, got him tunneled out quickly, and snowballed off of that, using his movement as Blight to get around the map, disrupt the gens with his pop and his eruption. Also had Wretched Fate on Tuchicha the entire time, which was definitely slowing him down. Not too sure when that was cleansed, but we do see that it was cleansed at some time in the trial, although I would assume it wasn't all that recently. All in all you needed for our survivors was better chases, but Gestrix, I don't think he could have played it much better. So, any chance here?
Well, it is interesting, yeah. Nortal has been known to be playing a lot of killer in his tenure of playing DBD comp, and he's put in some impressive results throughout the years of him playing. And honestly, with a team lineup like this, we got Gestrix, FC, No Score, and Thomas. It is gonna be a hefty order, especially with that win con of, what was the win con again? Sorry.
It was a 4K1 win con for our survivors, or a 4K3 win con for our killer.
Yeah, so that is going to be a hefty order to fill for the boots there, but considering he got his first tag quite early on, especially with Corrupt not even being halfway done as well already, it is looking kind of good, but we are going to be leaving and going to be checking up on the generators. We are going to check. We do hear some progress here at 2 as well, so maybe we'll see a cheeky survivor. We do find Thomas here. Let us switch over to the row. He is the deli player, so if he does get full chase here, that is not going to be ideal for the team of Adolescents.
No, you are right. This would be a very bad chase for Nortor to commit to, but we've already seen once that he isn't too fond of committing chases that could last, and now that Thomas has made it all the way to main with Overcome, I'm not too sure he'll be willing to commit, but I'm eating my words entirely. We've made the back main pallet, but No Score has shown himself to take a little bit of aggro from Thomas, try to save his deli for as long as possible. I'm sure that was calculated, as much as that did look a bit funny for everyone watching, I'm sure, but that did save our deli. Thomas is going to be able to go stealth away and self-reset with his medkit now, and be able to re-stealth for No Score's pull. All in all, we basically just wasted a little bit extra time in chase. We didn't get as much progress on this gen at 3 as we would have hoped, with Thomas obviously sitting at 2 to begin with, but never mind, he's right back here. I don't understand this play at all. I am a little bit worried now. I feel like he really should have played a lot slower. I don't know why he's gone back to this gen, especially while injured. The pull has also come out in the background. I guess we're trying to bait the fact that this isn't Deli at all with the playstyle, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get that boon if we are to go down here. Unfortunately for Nortor, though, he is not able to connect his 5 rushes. He's stuck on this very strong pallet, and with that break, he does give Thomas access to this pallet gem. We're going to try and play around it for as long as possible, just getting our rushes back now, maybe trying to get the down with them if we aren't too careful. Thomas, though, has read the double back on the pallet gem and has been zoned all the way back to 3. He does make that vault just in time. Beautiful stuff. Nortor hitting a bit too late, just misses and clicks onto the window. This gives Thomas access all the way down to 4, but with that lovely V1, he's going to eat the pallet to the face. 2 rushes wasted yet again. We do see Thomas now having to last on basically nothing. I'm sure the down will be coming. We slide off the hill, but it doesn't matter. Thomas isn't able to juke on the fire barrel. That is him finally down and out. But it was a very long chase. We were able to stabilize. We did see no score get reset in the background. One of our gens did pop. Gestrix on his gen top mid has also got it to about 50%. We knew that 4 was very high progress, which is very unfortunate. Thomas is obviously hooked very close to it, Gohan, but all things considered, I think this is still a very, very good start for our survivors.
Indeed it is, yeah, and we do see that a lot of people are working now this top side of the area. We have a person working here at 11, and it is going to be Gestrix as well. Gestrix is going to be our Lithe player as well, so if he gets this Lithe off, if he manages to, he's going to be able to work main all through and through, but we do see the unhook happen in the background. I believe that was No Score. Yep, No Score is the one to be doing that unhook, so we are going to be seeing how Gestrix goes here. He has used his Lithe now, so he's going to be able to at least walk around and run around this pallet for a bit longer, and unfortunately Nortor isn't going to be able to get flicky with it and get the tag onto Gestrix, so Gestrix is just going to have to play this for his life. If he gets zone breaked into the edge map, it is going to be spell troubles, but no, he's going to be able to rotate all the way back into main, so not ideal for Nortor here, but we are going to get tagged over the pallet. Lovely work from Nortor, and he's going to get the window vault as well. But now Nortor has to make a decision. Does he continue this chase in main, or does he try and see if he can find whoever else is doing generators, which we will just have a quick flick through. We do have generator just about popping now. We got another generator all the way down at the bot side as well, and Thomas, I'm not going to go to him just yet, as I do want to go back to the chase, as we do see Nortor is going to break that main door as well, and Gestrix is just going to have to play out of his mind here. And we do see another gen pop in the background as well. This is looking in danger zones for Nortor.
Oh, it 100% is. We're already at the tie condition. We've not committed to a tunnel out at all, and bye-bye Wretched Fate. Frozen was able to cleanse that for Nortor, and look at his gen at 25%. We're already working that 20% more efficiently because of that. He's had to pre-leave the gen. I'm guessing he might have been the one working for yet again, and Nortor is all too aware that this gen had a lot of progress, so we've left it. Gestrix in the background also was very, very promptly unhooked. We believe that is second wind. That would be why he is broken. He will be self-reset very, very shortly. All in all, the position for Nortor has slowly gotten worse and worse. The commit onto Gestrix at main was really not great. You know, I feel like if you're ever going to commit somebody on this team, it should be anyone else. It's not a survivor that you really want to commit, but if there's one you don't want to commit, it is Gestrix. Really, he's that guy. I'm going to continue glazing him all night. He's that guy. He will continue to run you no matter what killer you're on, and he's done it exactly there. He had a strong resource to play around, and he lasted. He knew exactly when he needed to play the 50s, when he could sit safe. He did that on that main pallet. He played the back main pallet beautifully as well, and he wasn't down for such a long time. It single-handedly has basically just secured this win for Adolescents so far. Truly, the game is already over. We see Frozen's gen in the background is 75%. This gen at 4 is very, very high progress as well, meaning we can't leave no score. We have to commit this chase. We're going to kick the gen, but as soon as we leave, we're going to see him rotate right back on it, and it will be popping very, very shortly. But look at this, Frozen's gen all the way, I believe it is this one at 8, is 95% as well. We're going to have to kick it just to apply our eruption, and if we don't find Frozen very shortly, the gen at 7 is going to pop, and that will be the game over. In fact, doesn't even matter how long we spend looking that the gen is going to pop anyways. No score, unfortunately, will be taking it down for that pop, but never mind, he's done just enough. Nortor was unable to connect with his rushes, and now we're playing 50s on this pallet at 5. He is finally on the ground, Gohan, but the final gen of the trail did pop. Frozen's already on that gate all the way at 8, and Gestrix is on this gate at 1. We can leave no score. The game is already won for our survivors, but I'm sure they're going to play for the best result. How do you think they've played it so far? Because I don't think Adolescents have set a foot wrong all night so far.
Yeah, indeed, you can't have said that any better, honestly. Yeah, it's like they had pretty much 3 gens ready to go as well. So because you had main was actually the gen that popped. We also had the generator all the way at 7, and then also the generator at 5. So either way, 2 gens are popping no matter what in this situation. Unfortunately, Nortor wasn't able to solidify that, but we do see that the Body Blockers Association here coming in to help the Meg, and Frozen is going to try and get through. And unfortunately, though, Thomas didn't eat enough kebabs. Never mind. We are trying to get the fresh hook out. And honestly, well played. Best possible result here. Having Frozen get out for free is ideal, but no, we have accidentally, as we're healing the bro, he is accidentally, his body hitbox has gone into the gate and he's escaped. Wait, what the?
But we get up with
And we had
That could have been
also had
hilarious.
Unbreakable. Okay, that is a very interesting turn of events for the last for that remainder of that match. That was a very, very interesting end game indeed. And if I remember correctly, we do have Unknown next on the Wreckers.
Considered, I feel like our chase is probably going to carry the game here. Unknown on Wrecker's Yard is a pretty chase-orientated killer, and the builds are all but stock standard from our survivors as well. We see Adrenaline. We know they're looking to get those out. Pretty confident they're going to all be able to last to get value out of that, as you probably should be against the Unknown on Wrecker's Yard. And, you know, I think all in all, really doesn't matter who we're going to chase on the side of Quinea. It's probably going to end with the same result. Gohan, we do have, I believe this is Thomas, around Shaq. Definitely not where you want to be taking this first chase, but we do get a quick UVX tag, all things considered. Maybe able to get an injure if we play it nicely around the Shaq, and we have managed to mind game Thomas. We will have a tag coming in shortly. We force the M1 though, so we can get back to the pallet in a quick succession, but if we aren't careful, we could get sniped here quickly, Gohan. If the tag does come in now, this chase wouldn't be as long as they are looking for.
Indeed, you are right, and he has got Iron Will, so it is going to be interesting to see how he can work with this. But he only had just a sliver left. If Quinn just absolutely mind gamed that and just shot it, Thomas would be on the floor right now. But because of the Iron Will, he was able to make it to the T and L walls. But I'm not sure how long he'll be able to be a last now. That he's got Quinno right up his bum, and he is going to make it to the broken fast. And unfortunately, he is going to go down. But a gen does pop for it, so it's not the worst situation. We do have Frozen and No Score running away with that extra gen progress perk there as well. I can't remember the name of it because it's been so long since I've even seen that perk. But we do also have Genstrix leaving his gen as well, so no one will have to really call to get off the gen because no one's on a gen.
Yeah, pretty much. We did see that Gen at 2 obviously being pretty high progress. Also, once again, I know that once again we do have a fair few EU and NA viewers. Yes, this is 3. We're currently standing at 3. We're walking towards 2. That Gen is there. The hook is about 1. You're just going to have to deal with it. No, I'm not putting up with the new comms to satisfy you all tonight. I do apologize. But Thomas is on the hook at 1, the gen was at 2, so Gestrix did have to leave that promptly to not be sitting right next to it. You know, you can't be doing that. And all things considered, we got the pain res as well. We dragged him quite far from 10 to 2. And we're in between a good few gens. I think the gen that we popped was Shaq on the double. Oh, no, it wasn't. Of course, the chase was Shaq. I'm actually not too sure what gen we did on popping, but we do have the gen at 2, and we have the gen top mid 12 on that hill there, which are pretty easy to hold from this hook, but they're kind of in a 3 gen only with Shaq, which isn't the most ideal, and especially considering Quinea is playing very, very passive. I think he's more prioritized about the gens that he will have in this 3 gen and this hook more than anything else. We did see a gen on the bottom side of the map popping. No Score is here also to try and get a trade. Actually, it's a double save, so it won't even be a trade. That is Thomas off the hook for only a tag onto Gestrix. Exactly what you need if you are our survivors. And now it comes down to Thomas to be able to last. We saw No Score there trying to play protect the present for a little while, but Thomas had all the distance to bottom, so we've opted to leave him. We're going to go get on a gen, maybe another double coming out. We ideally do want 2 gens popping for this chase. Thomas has a very strong rock to work around here, but Quinea knows the strength of it, doesn't want to break the pallet and hold him here for as long as possible. We have the TP on the long side to play around, and as soon as we've recognized that, Thomas has sent a lovely jiggy towards our car pile 8, a god pallet to play around. We did get a UVX tag. A gen at 5 did pop, and instead of committing to that chase, Quinea's identified that if we commit for too long, we will just be seeing a 3-stage game. So we've opted to TP back to the gen that we knew was being worked. We've caught out Gastric with his pants down, and that's him on the ground. Another pain res in the trial, in the 3 gen we were trying so desperately to hold previously. So I think this is probably a bit better of a position than we could have found ourselves in if we committed to Thomas Gohan.
Yeah, indeed it is, and it is looking kind of grim for Quinn. There is 2 more gens remaining, and he does try to go for the snipe, and unfortunately he's going to miss. I do wonder how close that was, but I have no idea who he was shooting at, so I wouldn't even be able to go to the switch around, but he has found Geztrix straight after the unhook. This is not looking too good for Geztrix. He has to survive. He has to live for as long as he can. He does have the life here, and we do have a body block here as well, but no, we are just going to be hauling ass to as far as we can, but unfortunately, we are going to get sniped as well. It is not the best, but we are going to get hit through the pallet as well. Very unfortunate for no score. Hey, things happen, unfortunately. Ping is a factor. I'm not sure how much the ping would be between these 2 teams, but I can only imagine it would be like a difference of maybe 10 to 20-ish MS difference between them 2. But either way, hit through the pallet is still something that can happen on ping as well if you are able to manipulate your hitbox for the short swing into the pallet. But we are going to be TPing over to Shaq, and we do find someone. It is Frozen on that gen. Frozen is kind of caught off guard here. They don't really have anything to work with either. They are all just going to be taking the tag and just going to be trying to run as far top as they can. But no, we are going to opt to go back for the unhook, Chief.
Yeah, we are going back for our timeline. Gestrix will be dead and out of the trial. If we're able to get a quick down, it would be very, very ideal. Also, going back to the ping conversation, I've just realized that we might not be on the correct server. Obviously, our players are primarily from Thailand, meaning they should be connected to Singapore. They would get anywhere between 40 to 60 ping, depending on where they are from. Also, Gestrix is down and out, so that was our timeline being secured with only 1 generator remaining. I believe that gen at 2 did finally end up popping. No, it actually didn't. It was our gen bottom. So we still have that 3 gen I was talking about all the way to begin with at 12-2. And Shaq, it's very, very loose. Not going to be the easiest to hold, but all things considered, it's the best 3 gen we probably had to play around when we were playing top side. But I think we are on the Hong Kong server and not Singapore, meaning our ping expected to be at about 40 to 60 is more in the region of 60 to 80 for everyone involved. Our killer is on about 80 MS and 2 of our survivors are just there with him, with another few of our survivors on the lower end. Either way, I don't know if no score is one of the lower or higher survivors. He did get hit through that part, that is why he's injured now. We're trying to force a locker, but he is hit right before he's able to get in it. That's that ping coming back to bite us like I was talking about previously. This will be his first hook, and once more in a disadvantageous position, we get to drag all the way to this top mid hook. It's a pain res once again right in the middle of our gens. Luckily for us though, I believe it was Thomas who managed to cleanse our wretched fate. That was all the way deep 12. So Frozen on that Janet Shack will be able to work it for as long as possible. Thomas though, unfortunately, right back into chase as soon as we got the hook onto no score. A quick tag with the UVX does mean we're going to be stuck here at 11 if we aren't unable to jiggy, which we haven't been able to so far. Bus with no pallet, especially split bus, is unbelievably unsafe. We're going to be able to use the UVX as he vaults the window. That's a guaranteed down there. Thomas will be taking his second hook. That baited the unhook from Frozen. He rotated very, very efficiently to get it, but unfortunately now Thomas can be dragged back right into the middle of our gens. With 2 survivors injured, actually Frozen was just reset. That is definitely what you need to be seeing. We need the game to slow down if you are the survivors. The speed at which we are playing is very problematic, and you know what, talking about speed, we found no score immediately. This is not how you need things to be going. I'm not too sure how he's going to play this, but the resources dwindling top, and the fact that we can't be in this 3-gen with someone on hook getting tagged like that, things could really spiral out of control here for our survivors, Gohan.
Indeed it can, and as you were saying to play slow, I think someone's played a little bit too fast, too furious, as they have been then gotten tagged for it. But now Frozen, he's just going to make his way down all the way to the bot side, because as we know, this top side is looking grim, it is looking bold. But no, we're actually opting just to check on what's going on in Shaq, and we do see 2 gamers here in the middle of Shaq as well, and we are going to get hit through the window. That is not what you would like to see on the side of no score, but no score is around that 60 ping. Quinn is on around 80, so that is still a rough hit, even if it wasn't for the ping, but unfortunately, medium vault happened, and that was all she wrote for it. But let's take a look at who else is doing some gens, shall we? We got Frozen is going to try and is all the way here at 11, and let's see what Thomas is. Thomas is now in danger. He is trying to get down in there to protect and save No Score, but unfortunately no dice is going to be able to happen. And it is looking kind of grim here, Chief, not gonna lie, as we're pretty much just going to be trying to pop shot and see if we can find whoever's are on the gem.
Yep, we have immediately managed to get that UVX onto Frozen with that shot there, I believe. I'm not too sure if we've already infected or not. I did look away at that split second, so we're just going to believe that Quinn did hit a lovely shot. But speaking of lovely shots, that was not one of them. We were unable to connect onto Thomas or No Score as they escape Shaq effectively for free, and Quinier's a bit worried about our gen. Copy knows Frozen is still close by. He is still infected by the UVX. He doesn't have a lot to work around, so I'm sure we will be seeing a quick down as he SBs all the way to corner 11. If he is able to last, then that's not how you're going to be able to do it firstly. But if he was able to last there, it could have spelled something good. I really did speak too soon. You are right. But it would have been able to spell us once again being able to slow down the game once more. Thomas and No Score were luckily enough able to get a reset off in time. I believe No Score does have access to Solly and Passive. That's why that reset did come in so quickly. So the reset we finally needed to have happen has happened. Lovely stuff, but they are both Death Hook. Our Gen Shack is very low progress. We have a TP right on top of it. No pallet to hold us for safety. Only the window vault, luckily, towards bottom. But No Score playing as aggressive as we need right now, getting that unhook. We can commit either survivor from this position. As long as it's a quick chase, it's going to end very, very well for us. Frozen is able to vault that window. We know he doesn't have life, so that's no extra speed off of that. He's stuck now, too. He's going to be able to last, thankfully. His window does have that strong connecting pallet right next to it, so we can play around this for a little while. The resources are just enough for us to last, but with that pallet now broken, only the window on the bad side of that RNL tile. We have to play up further towards top, which is exactly where we need him. If you are Quinier, we just make this pallet. We're going for the UVX infect, and instead of committing the chase, we're gonna leave. We were worried about the double on Shaq. Thankfully for Quinier, it was only a single person working it. Thomas is now zoned towards 6. He does have a few resources on the side of the map. The chasers really haven't come here. We got that UVX tag, and we know, once again, similar situation to last game. If we leave this, Thomas is going to be right back on that gen, and it will be popping. So we kind of need a quick down to get our eruption off on these gens. But damned if you do, damned if you don't. Getting this down doesn't solve all of our problems just yet. That gen at 12 was wearing. Frozen was back on it. He's now left over to this gen at 2. Actually, it was No Score. He's a healthy survivor, so this is even better. We can afford to take this tag. We get smashed it off, although we do get hit through the pallet. But that does give us enough time to make distance towards bottom for our tag. We can once again afford to play it slow. Now, Quinier's used another one of his valuable kicks on this gen, and we are on Operation Find Frozen. He might still be topside, I'm not too sure. Thomas, in the meantime, is on that gen in Shaq. No Score has been found. He's going to have to last on this pallet. He does, unfortunately, lose that 50, so that will be him on the ground. Not too sure if we had Eruption on Shaq, but if we did, it would have proc either way. We did just see that Eruption aura, by the way, but we were going to TP there regardless. Thomas was caught out, but he makes the window vault just in time, so we're not going to commit it. We're going to get No Score finally out of the trial, forcing the 2v1. All things considered, Gohan, 2v1, very hard to play, especially when you're both injured. The gens aren't too split, but pretty sure Shaq has enough progress that we really could get something done if we're able to wrap it and have a decent enough chase. As well as look at the gen top. We actually have a fair bit of progress. I think they might be able to get this to pop.
Honestly, yeah, it is going to be very interesting, and I apologize greatly to everyone watching the stream. Currently, if you haven't been made aware, that is very unfortunate for Frozen. That was very unfortunate indeed, and we did get the eruption as well. That is not very fun, but unfortunately, Unknown has a lot of spectator mods, so. And we have jumped right into the killer. Oppa! He has jumped into his loving embrace. Hey, it fixed the spectator mod though. That's something, right?
Oh, it did. You know what? I think I placeboed it and was still hearing it just in my own head. Am I losing my mind? I think I might be losing my mind because I can still hear it. Yeah, it's a bit concerning from me, but that is a 4K one secured by Quinier. My god, that is definitely not what we were expecting, was it, Gohan?
Not indeed, especially with 2 gens really close to popping. We had that generator where basically we've just been hooked and pain raised, and then we also had Shaq that was also really close, so very unfortunate. If we were able to, and let us take a gander, we have Quinn with our sprint burst player. We have Nortor as our head-on player, Stay Narrows as our life player, Toe Teacher as the smash hit player, and then Geztrix with a very interesting build. We have got no Hexworks. We have opted to go with Eruption and Call of Brine Chief. What are your thoughts on this?
I really like the inclusion of Call of Brine. I think Call of Brine is such a good perk. I mean, it's so good that we thought we should ban it on the S tier killers. It's a lot of free info. It's extra regression. It's just so nice to have. I also want to point out that our survivors do not have FTP, which I think is very, very not good. That is not something you want to be seeing if you are the survivors. Also, something you don't want to be seeing is an early tag coming in. I thought we were going to get it on that medium vault, but we've just been able to avoid it. Luckily for Two Teacher, but the UVX was applied. We did just get it off in time. Gestrix was unable to connect with that shot, but we do drop the pallet on the wrong side, so we take an M1. We do have a bunch of distance all the way to 11. A God pallet 10 as well to play around. This is where we've opted to stay because 11 is only truck, definitely not what you want to be seeing on your RNG once you load in. Finally, we also do get our UVX tag. I've also just been alerted that I'm actually stupid and dumb and bad. We do have FTP. Neither way, it's hopefully not Two Teacher. I'm not too sure. It's actually on Quinier. Lucky stuff there. Two Teacher will be able to get FTP off the back of this hook. Hooked all the way at 10. That was an instant pain res. We heard someone scream over towards, I believe it was 2. Hopefully, one of those gens is going to pop very shortly. Despite that, hopefully it's being doubled right away as Gestrix decided to linger towards 8. It was 5. There you go. It's gone out of the trial. Beautiful if you are our survivors. And now look, we've ventured all the way to 6. Nortor's rotating for the unhook. Actually, he might not even be. He might just get on that gen at 2 going. And we know 8 is being worked. If we see a triple split, it's exactly what you need from our survivors. Let Two Teachers sit. Use that hook timer to our advantage.
Indeed it is, but luckily we have been able to find another caster, so I will be bringing them in and you will be able to introduce them, Chief. So I will bid you guys adieu. We have finally got something sorted out here, so I will bid adieu.
Yes, we do have another caster joining me as we do see Gestrix trying to secure this hook. Naroz is running in for the trade, but Old Mate is here with me to tell you how this is going to go. Naroz is on the ground, Old Mate. As you can see, he's going to be trading on top of this pain res. Two Teacher will just escape from that, venturing towards the bottom side of the map towards 8. Actually, all the way over to Shek now. But firstly, Old Mate, how are we? And secondly, 2 stages on the board. We're playing for a 4K0 on the side of the survivors, a 4K1. Oh, sorry, a 4K, a 4K0 if you are the survivors, and a 4K1 or better to tie/win. Do you think it's going to be possible?
With how things are looking at this point in time, I would say it's possible. Sorry, I've already jumped straight into it. But, I mean, it's looking pretty even, as I would say so now. I mean, two fresh hooks, and we're already looking at the tunnel on Two Teacher. Yeah, no, I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty good... I think it's going to be pretty even by the looks of it. But yeah, been a pretty good night so far. Been watching the games over on the main stream itself, so been keeping a nice little eye on what everyone's been up to.
Beautiful stuff. Exactly what you love to hear. But you are right. You know, I do think the position right now is pretty neutral. I think it is slightly leaning in the favor of Gestrix. So this Jet at 6 is worrying, but it's not going to pop in time. We're going to be able to get Eruption and Call of Brine on top of it. And if we spend a little bit of extra time looking around, which we are doing, we're checking this locker in the tile 6, we might be looking for our stealth survivor. I'm not too sure where they are, but the hook is also close by, so we don't need to venture too far. That gen might pop right under our nose if we're not careful, but we can do our damnedest to protect it. We have that TP very close by to try and catch them off guard as well, and the gen at 8 when you was being worked. So if we can locate that survivor as well, especially with Two's Teacher potentially dying on hook, things would be beautiful. Actually, look at this. Quinier, the survivor who was on that gen, is the one stealthing. He used his SP to just narrowly avoid that hit. We're going to TP right on top of him. A tag does come in eventually. It is Deep 6. I think there's another survivor here that I've just located as well. It is Naroz indeed. This is very problematic. He's going to have to run to this mid-6 filler. We're going to try and get it out of the way as quickly as possible. Gestrix gets that pseudo-brutal break with the exhaustion, the add-on. He's going to take the trade. That is Naroz on the ground. I'm not too sure if this is on top of a pain res. If it is, we might just be taking it. But actually, that doesn't even matter. Naroz has already been pain res, so that's all for naught. Quinier's is back on the gen at 6. He's going to try popping it, but it's all for nothing yet. We haven't been able to get it done, so we take a UVX tag, and we're stuck on this edge map pallet. We're going to break it, just force him to keep on running up the map. We do get the UVX down. Finally, we can get a pain res off if we have one close by. The gen at 8 has slowly regressed, but with this pain res hitting 6, the gens we have worked all so hard for are gonna get nuked. And when you have 2 survivors who are now death hook and forced to reset probably right under that hook, I'm sure they haven't strayed too far away just yet. This is exactly how you end up winning this if you are Gestrix.
Honestly, I'm looking at this and I love how beforehand we said it looked like an even game. It just turned into an absolute shit show. Now we've got 2 tunnel outs, we've got one person on hook, though it's not really exactly where I think you'd want it. I did notice the 3 gen ranging from 3 all the way up to 12 down to 3 earlier on before, and we've got this taste on 2 teacher. Everything's looking. Oh no, he's gotten caught. But let's just see what we can do out of this. So we do look like we're going to get hit with the UVX. No! Okay, surprising. But we do take the M1 here, making some distance. Hopefully we can make our way down. No, we're just gonna stick up here on 2, see what we can work, and we get another UVX and another gen is popped down by 6. Oh, okay. Now we really. I don't know what I'm thinking at the moment. Like, it did look like it had swung all the way in LV's in levels favor, but now with the amount of gens we've gotten popped in this one section, it's just like we really could be looking at some outs here.
No, you're 100% right. The game kind of has been a lot of give and take. You know, we did look like we were in the pole position once we had gotten both those downs onto Naroz and 2 teacher, with Quinir also getting pain res all the way at 8. Things looked really damn good for Gestrix, but they were able to just do enough. We knew that they had a lot of gen progress. I'm not too surprised to have seen those popped with that commit chase all the way to 12. It was just enough from 2 teacher to get us to the tie condition, but now we are playing for these outs. As you said, we don't have a lot of gen progress, but we are in the 3v1. All of us are healthy. Sprint Burst is the one been found in chase, so he's gonna just narrowly not be able to avoid that UVX tag. We do walk into the wall, can't stray any further, but the quick fast wall outside of Shaq will prevent us from getting tagged by the M1, but lovely stuff from Gestrix, a beautiful snipe to get that tag after all of that. And now we just need to stray back to our gens. Quinir is injured. We're going to probably want to have him playing slow so he doesn't give away anything for free. A down to him would be Eruption, but Nortor isn't able to read the movement of Gestrix on this rock here. He does take a tag all the way back down to 6. He's on top of the gen 8 that he was working, but our gens are very, very split now. A down would only cause Eruption, but if we are able to last, even better. The gen that we know is all the way at 10 could be popping, and Gestrix is all too aware of that. Look at this, he's TP'd back there. The gen has progressed so much, and we do see scratch marks exiting the bottom side of that tile. I'm pretty sure. Actually, we might not have. I might have just completely imagined that. Quinir has taken all his distance to 3. We've seen Naroz and Nortor meeting up towards 3 as well. Actually, this is a little problematic now. Every survivor's in one place. We know one of them's injured. 2 of them are infected by our UVX. Nortor, the injured survivor, is straying all the way down to 6, is narrowly able to avoid that UVX from downing us. But on this 6 tile, we do have the pallet. We are going to be able to last here for a little bit, and we also know we have that connecting pillar 7. Nortor isn't going to get caught out on it anymore, though. We see here Quinir with the sprint burst is backing up with his flashlight to get as much distance before using it. Naroz vaults the window to get life, fakes the pallet drop so he doesn't get UVX tagged, and will play around this beautifully. Unfortunately, does take the tag. Once again, the ping we were talking about earlier coming into effect, getting the hit through the pallet. Every survivor injured. Actually, no, I'm eating my words. Quinir is not, but 2 survivors injured. Still 1 gen to pop. Old mate. Things kind of are back in the favor of Gestrix SB baited, though, so we don't get that tag. But yeah, no, I do think things are getting pretty close once again.
It is, but personally, I'm looking at this. Oh, we got the head on and the firecracker. No, that is not where you want to be, especially out of position with those gens. But I was looking at this, and I'm looking at the chase against Quinn. I'm thinking, I don't feel like this is the kind of chase that you really want to be taking. You've got Naroz here that's on death hook. You've got Nortor over here who's not only a fresh hook, but the last pain res that he needs. Oh, we got the gen pop anyway. So I don't know. I feel like he should have been sticking that one just there rather than coming all the way back. But yeah, it was just, I'm looking at it and thinking, taking the chase onto Quinn just did not feel like the right position to be going in at that point in time. But we do have a nice little chase onto Naros here. We're just having a nice little cheeky chase up here at 6, up at 12. Going down towards 2. We're using a little filler pallet. And, oh, we're nice and greedy, taking it on down to 3. But I think this is going to be a quick down here, and we're just going to take the outs.
Yeah, we are indeed taking the outs. Once again, the set was already won once that Fizz generator had popped, so we are now 1-1 in the series, heading to our tiebreaker, which is... I'm checking, I'm scrolling, I'm not too sure, I don't remember. I do not do the remembering very well. I have to scroll, holy hell. Seen so many 4Ks. In fact, I've been a victim to a lot of them myself this season. So, are we gonna see yet another one tonight?
I'm gonna say yes. I mean, I don't believe I've ever seen either of these teams playing Kaneki before, but at the same point, like, I always like to expect and appreciate a good 4K as every other person I feel should. And damn, we've already got 2 teacher in chase. Holy shit, that was quick. Anyway, we've already got the chase going up towards Shack, and where the hell have they gone? Are they just sitting? No, they're just chilling still at Shack. And okay, that's interesting. I thought that wasn't even going to go through the window, but we're going to continue on with this chase. Thinking they're going to be dropping... Yep, they dropped Shack pallet, make their way through. But, Chief, honestly, I want to ask you, what is your actual opinion on... What is your opinion on Ghoul? Because I know a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with him. They love playing him, but they hate playing against him. What's your call on this?
Oh my god. Now that swing was a little bit greedy, but Guessix was able to get it. We did also hear that Jet at 3 working, so we knew someone was close by, and we did find Naraz got that tag. But to answer your question, old mate, I love this set. I love playing against ghouls. There's a reason I picked it every week, right? You know, I think it's a great set. I enjoy playing it on Killer. I enjoy having it played by my team, and I enjoy playing against it. Although the couple weeks where they did change the ghoul vault hitbox was hell on earth for me. It was horrid, and I hated the set. They actually made me stop picking it entirely this season. We haven't picked it since, and I don't think we will be. I think I might have destroyed my team's mental entirely. Either way, now that that has been reverted, I do think the Killer is obviously a lot weaker, but also a lot more bearable if you are used to playing against him and know all of your counterplays, the vault backs, the standoffs, etc., how to play around that power so efficiently, which we haven't gotten to see just yet, as Gestrix is able to get his 3rd Kagune mark tag and also re-up his enrage on Corneer here. Teacher is still on hook, and with Naraz injured in the background, he did just self-reset with the medkit we saw him have. Corneer is able to escape Champions of Light, buys him the distance, and forces Gestrix to go back to this hook, worried that Naraz now reset could have been close by to get the unhook quickly, but to no avail. What's lovely for all of our survivors now, though, is that we were kind of stabilizing after that tag, but Naraz now is running in for a trade, and we're trading on top of a pain res. Luckily, Teacher doesn't go second, but I'm sure we're just going to take that. We don't have a gen popping just yet, and when we do have that gen pop, Corneer on his gen will be working 20% slow. We have access to Wretched Fate, which is going to benefit us so much on a Killer that can be so active and has such an easy time protecting totems. It's why Ruin, which is also in this trial, is such a popular pick. It's going to do so much for us. I actually think finding and not finding Ruin can be the difference between getting a higher 4K and outs on this Killer. It really is that impactful on a Killer who's so easy and able to move around the map. But as we did see, the downside is that what's his name? Gestrix has had to re-up his Kagune mark, so he wasn't able to get the down. But we are going to see him vault back too. Teacher was nearly aware, tried to go for the vault back, but sent it around the short side, but doesn't make it back in time. That's exactly what you should be expecting when you are playing against the ghoul. But for his chase, his efforts, 2nd hook, but a gen finally popping.
Yeah, it's finally taken them a little bit of time, but he is really liking this this 6 side at the moment. Like oh wait, is that the Ruin just there? Right beside Hook? Or is that the Wretched Fate? But I'm looking at this, he's got back 5, he's got 6. Does he have enough? He's got shallow 6 too. He's got a really nice little 3-gen here. Holy shit. This is definitely not good. Oh no. Don't take the tag on the hook. Don't take the tag. Okay, so we're just gonna leave.
Oh no! And Naraz is
This
also been found
just went
out as well.
from
That
bad
is
to
so
worse.
problematic.
This
We've
just
vaulted
went from
right
bad
back
to worse.
to the killer. This did go from bad to worse. You are right. This is a really unfortunate scenario. We're going to take the pain res yet again. Actually, it's not even a pain res. Sorry, I forgot that the Roz is been found in the exact same situation, forced to trade. So it's not a pain res. He'd already been pain res, but it is another hook onto him. We're splitting our tunnel out nicely, and we have all the time with the gens we have remaining to do so. And we found two teacher immediately. He doesn't have BT left. He's going to play around this pallet 12, which we know is not going to be the best pallet. It's an old god rock that doesn't have a tree anymore, but we do get a stun that buys us just enough time to make another stronger resource. We're going to send it to this rock here on deep 12. We have our bound still to play around it. We're trying to get anything onto 2 teacher. We get a re-up of our infection, but it's going to allow us to play around this pallet setup for a little bit longer. In the background, Naraz was also unhooked. He's been reset. A gen did pop. We're at 3 gens remaining. We're going to finally be vaulting into him. I don't know if 2 teacher has gone for the vault back. He hasn't, so he's going to fake the vault. Unfortunately, losing that 50 Gestrix will have him down to the ground. We bait out the dead hard. That's him done. Not as happy about that for Gestrix, knowing that he had to be patient there. So, all in all, death at 3, I don't think is too unexpected for the killer. Where the problems start is how much progress you have when this death does come in. We knew that somebody rotated and reset Naraz. There's no progress on 3. They did finally cleanse the totem, unluckily for our survivors. It was only Wretched Fate and not Ruin, which is going to cause us so many more problems now now that we're in the 3v1, especially with the 3 gen that you pointed out earlier being on this bottom side of the map. This is where things can get really ugly. Obviously, White's back on a gen, but we need to be slow. We can't give away these free tags. Unfortunately, White's already been found, and with Kagune coming back up very quickly, we might be able to get one very, very shortly, and then we can play ping pong. We don't need to commit anything too much. Ruin will do its job as we go back and forth. Getting everyone injured and mending, slowing them down even more so, is going to be exactly what we need.
Yeah, and with all of this, like, the amount of time that this team has been, and there goes the down. But you remember the right at the start. Every single person was injured right from the get-go before anything had even, and there goes Ruin. But they've spent so much time resetting and getting everything sorted out that I feel like Ruin's just done way too much of a job, even now that it's been cleansed. Like, I would say minimum 4K1 seems like a reasonable call at this point in time, unless for some unholy reason they decide that someone wants to pull out one hell of a chase. But I'm really expecting 4K1 with this at the end of this result.
I'm surprised you're even accepting a 4K1 from this position. I wouldn't be too shocked if we see potentially a 4K2, even a 4K3. I think a 4K3 is pretty unreasonable, but a 4K2 is much more likely. Look at this. Naroz, another Death Hook survivors back in chase. White's all the way at 9. Injured and Quinier, who's got a pain res stored, is all the way bottom now. He's probably hopping on one of the bottom gens we did see, but with Naroz here in his final chase, Death Hook injured, forcing a 2v1 right now would basically spell the end of the game. There is no Ruin, but we do have Eruption on most of our gens, and 2 stacks of pain res to play around. So if we can get this down relatively quickly and then go force people off gens shortly after the Eruption does come through. We swing through, by the way, and don't get it down. So Naraz is doing everything to spite the macro calls I am making. Lasting in this chase is exactly how we bring it back. There you go. That's that 4K2 I was talking about. One of those gens does pop for this chase. Naraz is still going, by the way. Beautiful stuff. Definitely what you need if you are KaitOkids, but Gestrix is going to try and play these mind games standing still. Swings around now, but Naraz has read it perfectly. Fakes the vault. He just escapes death. He's going to be able to make it back to the pallet just in time. If we send for it, he doesn't. Naraz has finally been caught out. He will be forcing the 2v1. That is finally our second death, and our 2 remaining survivors are doubling main. If they do get caught out here, it will spell the end of the game. But I guess we can play for this gen together. It will be very, very difficult, though, old man.
Very much. And going back to that call for the 4K2 versus 4K1, honestly, that was a generational chase, I would say. That was very well done. That was very well done. Made sure everyone got to where they need to be. But honestly, I'm surprised that there wasn't more. I'm surprised there's not more progress on main. Like, I would have expected them to be doing a double split and then trying to finish off that next gen, but it just doesn't look as if. Maybe it was Quinn that was sitting on main. Would make sense for why the gen wasn't too much. But we do see this chase coming on to White. nice little pallet stun kicking through. But I don't feel like this chase should be lasting very long down here on 7. Like, it's just, what have we got? We've got bus pallet here. Yep, bus pallet here. We've got a vault there. Like, this is unsafe. This is just feeling like an absolute down right here. But we just got to waste that time and see what we can do for Quinn. And there we go. Now for the
Yeah,
slug,
the
see if
bigs.
we can find Quinn. Yeah, now just see if we can find Quinn. What do you think? I feel like we'd be still maybe stealthing main, going for the pickup later. Seems like a pretty interesting thing to do, but I don't know how this team will operate.
No, you're right. I think we probably will just be seeing the end here. Unless Quinier, he's going to play for the hatch. I think that's the best we're going to get out of this scenario. There's not a lot of gen progress on the map other than main, which we did see get erupted. I'm sure the only other gen we really do need to be worried about is this gen all the way at 5, but we've seen it's 0, so no stresses there. White, your best bet right now, buddy, is to let go of that hook and hope Quinier can get out the hatch, so that way we don't have a tie condition. We will be winning if we're able to match the result if we do get a hatch escape, as I discussed previously with the fresh lead-out rules. I'm sure that would be what we are playing for now. White, though, is hitting his skill checks, not letting go any quicker. Maybe waiting for Quinier to slowly rotate, get in position for hatch before we start doing that. In fact, I think we did just miss our first skill check. Our second should be coming in very shortly. Quinier is very, very close, sort of in this mid-6 area, set up just for it with his sprint burst. He's sprinting in over now. He's there, but Gestrix is also right on top of him, gets his first tag, but we're going to have our standoff. Quinier's getting a bit anxious. I'm not too sure why. Gestrix also probably could have taken the down, but he wins the standoff. That is the hatch close. He can press spacebar quicker than Quinier can. His 4K2 is secured. Lovely stuff from the main man himself. This is going to be, once again, very similarly to Blight. So difficult for either Quinier or Nortor. I believe it will be Nortor playing the Ghoul. It didn't confuse you with another drink. We're loading in. You predicted a 4K2. I'm going to be a bit cheeky and say we might see some outs finally on the Ghoul. But as we do get up and ready, do you think there is a chance, despite your prediction?
I mean, there's always going to be a chance. I just like looking at the most optimal. I try to think of things like very optimally, but also as fun as you can. So when I'm saying like I want that 4K2, I'm saying like it'll hopefully be a good game and everyone puts up a fight. But at the end of the day, I would like to see those 4Ks coming through as the killer main that I am. But we do have a very nice start off on Thomas, early catch, early Kagune mark. And we're already looking at leaving. Interesting. But I also want to note that Ruin is not in a very nice spot sitting there down on 9. It looks very exposed.
Yeah, it is a little bit out in the open, but all things considered, it's kind of out of the way. You don't really want to be venturing over there if you are survivors, because that's kind of where you need to be dying. Our gens are very right side and very bottom, kind of in this L shape from 2 to 7, which is definitely ideal for our killers. Speaking of ideal, Gestrix has been caught lacking right there. That is going to be a quick tag, and we don't have all too much distance to make towards a strong resource 1, so we're stuck here on this filler 2. Nortor, though, does break it the bad way, gives us access to the inside of the map. We can make it to match 6. We're not going to get the Kagune refresh because we tried to vault after him. It was only our first bound, so that won't do much for us. Also, speaking of Ruin being in the spot it was, our survivors were all too aware of how important it will be to get that cleanse. It's already gone for our first chase. Definitely the start you need for our survivors, but like I said a bit earlier, you really do want your first chase to last for a little while. Maybe a gen if you ideally can have it. It's not done that just yet, you know, that was a pretty early down. Also considered we had 2 gens at about 50, and one of the survivors that were on the gen had to rotate off North scores, or not North scores, sorry, no scores gen, all the way deep 6 was hit by a pain res. All in all, I do think the start, though, Oldmate, is a fair bit better from Adolescent Survivors than it was for KaitOkids, but this isn't all over for Nortor.
Nah, we've already seen that he's very aggressive on those first few chases. Honestly, like, getting the tag on Thomas was nice, but I feel like that second chase onto our lovely Jake over here. Wasn't that good, but we already look like we're getting it down. Oh no. But it's okay, we've got Thomas picking here, we've got another chase. I scrapped my name. I scrapped my words again. Good old caster's curse. But unless we've got someone coming here for the pallet save, I definitely am seeing nothing good coming from this.
No, you are right. Thomas was barely unable to get that. He realized that if he had sent for it, he would have been body blocked, and obviously you saw Nortor swing out, just playing that extra bit cautious. If he got that down onto Thomas right there, right then, it could have spelled, honestly, a really rough 4K from this position. We kind of are in the same position. Gestric's second chase was just unable to last for anything. We have two gens on the bottom side, which are worrying, but Gestrix is on his death hook. Frozen now has had to leave and start main. Our gen at 9 is so close to popping, but Nortor is inching ever closer once again, and if he does catch that gen before it pops, things would be really problematic. So I'm not too sure what the plan will be. I feel like we just have to triple split and let Gestrix die. We need these gens to pop, but having Gestrix die at what will be 3 gens, because no score will be popping very shortly. We did see that gen at 8 pop just now. But look, Norto's trying to get a bit aggressive. He's going to get the Kagune mark, but Frozen's just in range to be able to get that trade. 3 gens are remaining now as no score does pop. The trade does come in, and instead of taking the down, we're going to take the BT hit onto Gestrix. We're going to make it to Shaq, but not much else after that. Holding him in place, getting the Kagune tag, but nothing else. We didn't block the pallet. We didn't do anything of the sort, so the pallet has been dropped. We have max distance around Shaq, able to play towards 4. We have a strong tile here. I believe it's that little fake jungle gym. It is indeed, and he's got the pallet up still. He's got the window. He can last here a little bit. We do drop the pallet. We're going to force the break. Nortor will force him all the way closer to the edge map window. No scores here to play Protect the Present. He's coming in for the hit. We're going to take that hit whilst Gestrix is still stuck in a bad position. Lovely stuff. But now that we are able to play towards the window, because we don't have that pallet 5, even I was fooled by that. Nortor sent it just in case. Gestrix has to last now, but Janet Main did pop. That is the tie condition meant. We have our tunnel out. Everyone else injured, but no ruin to the aggression. Is going to be interesting from our survivors. It will be very, very interesting to see if they are going to play it aggressive or play for these resets. Obviously, Kaneki is so able to get these very quick tags, and look at this, speaking of aggression, Thomas has already been caught out immediately. That's him right back on the ground. Pain Res will be hitting his gen at 2 because we know there can't be a lot of progress anywhere else. No score was playing Protect the President. Frozen's all the way at 6 as well. So this Pain Res will most likely hit 2. We'll find out very shortly if it does. I'm not too sure. I believe it just did. Lovely stuff if you are Nortor. That's so much free information knowing the gens aren't be working. That Crow landing 6 also, I'm not too sure if that was his or our survivors who have met down on the bottom side to reset, but if he heads on there swiftly, look, it's not even them resetting, it's just no score on a gen. They're not even opting to reset. To be fair, like I was getting at a bit earlier, Nortor on the Kaneki is so easily able to get quick tags with Kagune Rush, and in the 3v1 resetting can lose you so much time and so much ground because of how quickly you're just going to get injured again and again. So the decision to not reset, I don't mind, but now that you have someone on hook, it can be a bit problematic. You're going to have to play this push and pull game, but you have to bait back and forth, and now the Thomas off the hook, he needs to protect Frozen for as long as possible. We can't have him go down. It puts us in the exact same scenario, but a little bit worse, because now we will know where Thomas is. If Frozen dies, that gen doesn't pop for it, old mate. I'm gonna get a little bit worried.
Yeah, I'm already worried. I mean, you've got everyone's still injured. Like I was kind of sitting there thinking, don't go aggro at this point in time. Everyone's injured. You need to kind of just take your time, sit back, get a heal, make sure someone is ready to take that save, and make sure you can make your way out maybe down towards 12. But they've just gone straight aggro, and I really just don't agree with it unless, like, the gen wasn't even close enough to be considered to pop for that extra win condition. Because we can all look at it right now. We're at our tie condition, and right now it just feels like everyone's floundering about. I don't see anything really coming off this. Maybe Fizz and no score over their resetting, but I just don't feel like anything is really coming out of this.
I guess so, but look, I guess the situation now that no score is in chase, he's kind of trapped on the bottom side of the map near the gen with all the progress. He will not have much else to work around. He's on the ground, his gen being erupted. What I was going to say is, oh my word, 2 is worrying. Surely we commit this. Frozen's already rotated, but I think we could have popped for a double if we don't have a pain res. We'll just have to see if no score is close enough. He just has this pain
He's
res
not.
full mid. Does he make it? Does he make it? Does he make it? He's going to make it in time, but I mean, hey, if we had doubled, I think we would have popped and that would have been the win. We just rotated so early. Frozen played it safe, which, you know, in hindsight, obviously committing the gen is the correct play, but how are you to know that in the situation you were put in? So Thomas has taken his distance from the gen, but this gen being so high progress is our lifeline now. We can have people rotate back to 6 once we get this unhook. Thomas needs to last on these LTs. A desperation swing from Nortor here as we give Thomas access back to 12. We go all the way back. We're still worried about 6. We know that the unhook was close by, and if our survivors were just able to double it in time, things would be really problematic. No score was caught out here. 6. The gen's back at 50%. And he's been zoned away. We took distance after that pallet 6 was broken. We have truck to hold around. We're going to drop off now. We don't get any balance landing or the source off of that. We don't have the length of that drop, but Thomas was back on the Gen 2. Now he's back in chase because Nortor doesn't want to let anything go. He doesn't want this Gen to be popping under his nose. So Thomas will have to last on this side main filler, but he isn't able to do so. Loses the movement battle. Is back on the ground. Is going to get hooked closer to the mid map. We did see Frozen sticking the Gen. No score had rotated for the unhook already, but with how close this is to the bottom side Gen, you kind of don't really want to have anyone caught out of position now. And it's going to be so difficult to prevent. Although, interestingly, we did see that he didn't kick the Gen. We wanted to head right back into chase. Frozen now being in chase, but No Score made the heads up play. Instead of playing for the pull, he's all the way back on 2. And if we don't catch on to this now, that Gen might just pop. No Score's doing just enough. Nortor is cautious, though. He's heading back over. The Kagune tag does give us all the distance. Frozen now are able to get the unhook. That was a very weird spectator bug. I've never seen that before. But we've not opted to chase No Score. We're going to go get the kick onto Gen. We have to go back now as well, prevent the double because these Gens are oh so close to pop. We can't let anyone go. You need to commit something eventually, but it needs to be something we can actually afford to commit. And right now, there's not a lot that we have in that position. Old mate, I think one of these Gens is going to pop.
Oh yeah, no. I definitely feel like 2 is about to pop. There's... Maybe we're about to hit by Caster's Curse? Yeah, no. We're getting hit by Caster's. Honestly, he should have committed that Gen a lot harder. I feel like it should have been popped before by Thomas, by committing before the pain res. But the fact that they've now just gone, what's it, now two eruptions off of this within that time, like, it really... 2 really should have gone off by now, I'm gonna be honest there. Like, 5 has been okay, like it could have been getting closer. I just feel like 2 would have really just sealed the deal straight away.
No, you are right. Obviously, like we said, it's hindsight that we wanted them to stick the double Frozen and Thomas on 2, but they aren't to know how far that pain res was, and if they had, they would have secured the game. But now we're in such a weird predicament. Thomas and Frozen are both stuck here. We do see Frozen running all the way around this hill 8. We can't do much because the Kagune tag, not the Kagune tag, the Kagune leap even gives us so much free distance back to the back of the survivor. And with him on the ground once more, No Score has been picked. We know exactly where Thomas ran off to. We're stuck in another sticky situation. Someone needs to get this pickup and someone needs to be on a Gen. But we also can't afford to be found too quickly. And unfortunately, No Score, I believe the survivor who was rotating for that pick, is the one who has been found. So now Thomas has got to do something. He's not picking up anybody just yet. He was at 2. He was getting ready to be on that Gen. And if he is found here, we could have problems once again. I'm not sure if we will be found, though. Oh, we have been. We've spotted the blood. We've heard him out. He's got to play around Matchsticks once more. He needs to last here with finally Frozen being picked off the ground. We might see a double onto 6, but will it be enough? I'm not too sure.
No, I definitely... Oh, no, he's leaving. I was going to say, if he's committing this chase, then we're definitely seeing a pop on 5. Nope, we're seeing it regardless. But that is the win, given off. Congratulations. But we still have to play for best result. We can see the outs, but I do feel like the 4K one is coming in unless someone's already sitting on 2, which I'd assume Thomas would be. But yeah, I would see either 4K0, 4K1 at this point in time. I don't see outs coming.
No, I do think outs are completely out of the realm of possibility with 2 survivors out of the trial. Thomas, the last man standing, unless he's on 2 right now, is going to pop the gen. He does indeed finally pop that gen, the 4K0. That is beautiful. We've just wasted the extra time taking the hook, which lets us pop the gen. Now, Thomas will have to have a chase of his lifetime. Frozen and No Score are up. I don't know how that's managed to occur. Hold on, I don't even know what
Adrenaline.
we've done there. Adren, oh my word. You're so right, we had Adren. I was gonna say we don't have access to Unbreaks, there's no anti-slug though. We've just managed to get up with our lifeline out of nowhere, but it was Adren. We have 3 survivors on their feet. All the gens are popped. We're actually gonna be seeing outs. Look at this. Frozen's on that gate bottom with Rezi. It's gonna be opening oh so shortly. Thomas is being committed over tonight. He has another pallet to play around as well. He's gonna be forced to play around it. We take the vault over, but because we're not in rage, we have so much free distance. We do see Thomas sending to edge filler 11, and now we can get outs. This has been incredible. What an end game. We got outs. I can't believe that, but unfortunately, that's an unlucky dead hard.
Oh, but yeah, this has been absolutely right on the this has been right on the buzzer. Like, we were looking at a strong 4K2 now to outs, and like, holy shit, like, you really